Fred took 7 hours to drive from Keene to Boot Hill, a total distance of 485 kilometers. He drove most of the way at 80 kilometers per hour, but was slowed to 30 kilometers per hour for a time by a dust storm during the trip. How many hours did he spend driving through the dust storm? Here we'll make two equations. The first one will represent the number of hours Fred drove from Keene to Boot Hill, and the second equation will represent the total distance Fred drove from Keene to Boot Hill. Here we'll need to make two variables. The first one is x. This will represent the number of hours Fred drove without the dust storm. So this is without the storm. And we're also going to create a second variable, y, which will represent the number of hours with the storm. And now we can make our first equation. X plus y is equal to 7. This is saying that the number of hours spent without the storm plus the number of hours with the storm is equal to 7. Without the storm, Fred drove at an average speed of 80 kilometers per hour. But with the storm, he slowed down to 30 kilometers per hour for a time by the storm during the trip. So now we're going to put 80 and x together, which will give us 80x plus 30y is equal to 485. Now we rearrange this equation to get the value of one variable. In this case, let's get the value of x. So here we have to subtract y, because subtraction is the inverse operation of addition. And positive and negative cancel out, so we have 0 left. Since we subtracted y on this side of the equation, we have to do it to the other. And we have x is equal to 7 minus y. Now let's substitute this value for x in the second equation. So we have 80 in parentheses 7 minus y plus 30y is equal to 485. Now multiply 80 inside of this set of parentheses, and we have 560 minus 80y plus 30y is equal to 485. Okay, now we have to move positive 560 to the other side of the equation because 485 and 560 are like terms. To do that, we have to subtract 560 from this side of the equation because we're doing the inverse operation of addition right here. And these two will cancel out. And since we subtracted 560 from this side of the equation, we have to do it to the other. And this gives us a 0. Negative 80y plus 30y is negative 50y, which is equal to 485 minus 560. (485 minus 560 is equal to negative 7. Now we have to divide negative 50 on both sides of the equation. Here it will cancel out. Drop down the y. Negative 70 divided by negative 50 is equal to positive 1.5. Now let's plug in this value of y into our first equation that we made, which was x plus y is equal to 7. Let's plug in the value of y, which is 1.5, into this equation. So we have x plus 1.5 is equal to 7. And now we have to bring 1.5 onto the other side of the equation by subtracting it, because we're doing the inverse operation of addition, which is subtraction. And when we do that, 1.5 cancels out. But since we subtracted 1.5 on one side of the equation, we have to do it to the other. So we have to subtract 1.5 from this side of the equation. And we have x is equal to 7 minus 1.5, which gives us 5.5. And here we go. The number of hours Fred drove through the dust storm was 1.5 hours, but he drove 5.5 hours without the storm. And this is the answer to this question.